book is I Am Too Absolutely Small for School, featuring Charlie and Lola. I have this little sister Lola. She is small and very funny. Mom and Dad say she is nearly almost big enough to go to school. Lola's not so sure. Lola says, I am absolutely not big. I'm still really quite small. She says, I probably don't have the time to go to school. I'm too extremely busy doing important things at home. I say, at school you'll learn numbers and how to count up to 100. Lola says, I don't need to learn up to 100. I already know up to 10, and that's plenty. I have 10 fingers, and I also have 10 toes. And I never eat more than 10 cookies at one time. 10 is enough. But Lola, I say, what if 11 eager elephants all wanted a treat? How would you count up how many treats that would be? Well, says Lola, I'm not quite sure. And I say, what about learning your letters, Lola? If you know how to write, you can send cards to people you like. Lola says, I like to talk on the telephone. It's more friendly and straight away. But not everyone has a telephone, you know, Lola. I say, who doesn't? Says Lola. Santa Claus, I say. You have to write him a special note and send it to the North Pole to tell the elves your Christmas wish. Otherwise, the elves might get your wish mixed up. I didn't know that, Charlie, says Lola. And Lola, I say, don't you want to read words? Then you will be able to read your own books and understand secret messages written on the fridge. Lola says, I know lots of secrets. I don't need to read words. I've got all my books in my head. If I can't remember, I can just make them up. There is pink milk in this fridge. But Lola, I say, what would you do if there was an ever so angry ogre who would not go to sleep unless you read him his favorite bedtime story? I don't know, Charlie, says Lola. Then Lola says, I would like to read to an ogre and count up elephants and send notes to the North Pole, but I absolutely will not ever wear a school uniform. I do not like wearing the same as other people. I say, but Lola, you won't have to wear a school uniform. At our school, you can wear whatever you like. Oh, says Lola, you wait there. I know exactly what I can wear. Well, Lola, I say, that's certainly stylish, but you cannot go to school dressed as a crocodile. Lola says, this is not a crocodile, this is an alligator. I say, you can't really go as an alligator either. Why not? Says Lola. Because alligator is for fancy, for school stripes are nice. Really? Says Lola. I like to wear stripes, says Lola, but what will I do at lunchtime? You know I will never, not ever, eat a school lunch. My sister Lola's fussy about food. I say, but Lola, you can take your very own packed lunch in your very own lunchbox. Lola says, I do not want to eat at school alone, all by myself, on my own. I say, but Lola, at the school, you'll meet lots of new friends. You can have lunch with one of them. Then Lola says, "But I already have my friend, Soreen Lawrenson. I like to have lunch at home with him." Soreen Lawrenson is Lola's invisible friend. No one knows what he looks like. I say, "Well, Soreen Lawrenson will be going to school too. What will he do if he can't sit next to you?" "Oh, you're right. Soreen Lawrenson is a little slightly nervous to be at school on his own. I will absolutely have to go too," says Lola. Walking to school, Lola's all wobbly. She says Soreen Lawrenson is feeling slightly not very well. He is worried he will not be able to count numbers, do letters, and read words, and no one will talk to him, so he will be all by himself on his own. "Lola," I say, "it will be okay. You'll be fine. I bet you'll both have a really good time, and after school we'll have pink milk at home." But all day I'm worried. I don't see Lola at recess. She's nowhere at lunch. When school gets out, she's not by her peg. But then, there she is, and she's not all alone by herself. She's hopping along home with somebody else. At home, I say, "Lola, I told you you would have a good time." And Lola says, "Oh, I know, Charlie. I was not worried. It was Soreen Lawrenson who was nervous, not me. I was fine." The end. What is your favorite part of the story? My favorite part of the story is when Lola wears an alligator costume. This book is Charlie is Broken. I have this little sister Lola. She is small and very funny. Today we are busy practicing for a special circus show. Lola is trying to do somersaults. She says, "It's not working, Charlie. You have to push me." Lola says, "Ta-da!" and I cheer. Then Lola says, "I must be able to do a somersault all on my own." At the park, Lola and Lola practice somersaults. They can nearly do them on their own, but not quite. So I say, "Maybe you should practice bowing instead." Then Lola said, "That's a good idea." Then Marv said, "Come on, Charlie, let's play soccer." Lola and Lola practice taking their bows while Marv and I play soccer, but then I fall over and hurt my arm. Ouch! It really, really hurts. Dad takes me to the hospital. When I get home, Lola asks, "Charlie, why is your arm wide and ginormous?" Then I say, "That's my cast, Lola. It protects my arm until it's all better." Then Lola says, "I hope you will be better for our circus show." Later, Lola says, "Aren't you hungry?" And I say, "No, I'm thinking of all the things I can't do because my arm is broken. I won't be able to play with my dinosaurs or get dressed by myself, and I don't think I'll be able to do the circus show either." That night, Lola can't sleep. I'm a bit slightly scared Charlie isn't Charlie anymore. He is broken. And when you are broken, you have to be very extremely careful, and you might need a nurse to help you. The next day, Lola says, "I brought you some pink milk, Charlie, to make you feel better. And eating cereal will make you feel better." And I can even help you brush your teeth. And I know a way you can still be in our circus, though. But I say, but Lola, I just want to stay completely still. And that's not good for the show. And Lola says, it is very completely good. At our circus show, Lola says, look how Charlie is more stiller than the stillest thing in the whole wide universe and world. And look, even when I do my somersaults, he will not move. Lola does a somersault all by herself. She says, ta-da! Then she says, oh, did I do that all on my own? I laugh. Then Lola says, oh, he moved. See everyone, Charlie is better. Then Lola looks at my cast and says, well, nearly better. The end. What is your favorite part of the story? My favorite part of the story is where Lola says that Charlie's the stillest thing in the whole wide world. Charlie and Lola, I'm going to save a panda. I have this little sister Lola. She's small and very funny. She's very excited because it's Save an Animal Day at school. On the way to school, Lola says, I would be really, absolutely, extremely good at saving animals. Lola says, maybe we can save some giraffes. Lola says, yes. Sometimes because they're so tall, giraffes get their heads stuck up in the clouds. Lola says, let's blow. Lola says, see, we're very good at saving animals. Yes, very good, says Lola. That's not what it means to save an animal, I say. We need to raise money to build safe homes for animals. That way, they won't be extinct. Then Lola asks, what is extinct? And I say, extinct means no more of that animal in the whole entire world. Then Lola says, oh no! I say, some people make jewelry from turtle shells. In Africa, some people steal rhinoceroses' horns. And there aren't many parrots in Mexico because their trees are all being chopped down. Marv says, these are called endangered animals. Lola and Lola say, we definitely must help. At the library, Lola says, look, snowy leopards are endangered. Then Marv says, so are moon jellyfish. And I say, and brown pelicans. Lola says, oh no, pandas are endangered too. I say, giant pandas live in China. They eat bamboo all day long. And Marv says, but people are cutting down all their bamboo. Then I say, without enough food, giant pandas might disappear completely. So Lola says, I think I would like to save a panda. And we all say, yes. I say, we need sponsors. They'll give us money for doing different things, like swimming 5 laps. Lola says, but I can't swim yet. So I ask, well, what are you good at? Lola says, I'm good at skipping, and Lola's very good at hopping. Later I say, look at all our sponsors. We're going to raise lots of money tomorrow. Lola says, I can't wait to hop, hop, and hop. And skip, skip, and skip, said Lola. And stand on one leg, said Marv. And balance an apple on my head, I say. The next morning, Lola's all spotty. She has the chicken pox. Lola says, Mom says I absolutely cannot go to school. Now I won't be able to do the sponsored hopping and save a giant panda. So I say, sorry Lola, I'll come back at lunch to tell you how everyone's doing. At lunch I say, everyone's raised a lot of money. But Lola says, everyone except me. And I say, maybe you still can. What if people sponsor your spots? Lola says, that's a very good idea. I say, 64, 65. Lola, you've raised the most money. We're definitely going to save a giant panda now. And Lola says, you haven't even seen the spots on my tummy yet, Charlie. The end. What is your favorite part of the story? My favorite part of the story is Lola and Lola think that saving an animal is getting a giraffe's head out from a cloud. Thank you for reading with me.